So, welcome. This is, I'll move this up here. Hopefully that stays there. This is the second of 3 video lectures emphasizing the causes and consequences of World War I. This video lecture is a companion to the full lecture in PDF, which is available in Google Classroom. That PDF has embedded links to short videos that I want you to watch. When I prompt you during this video, pause it, open up that PDF, and click on and view the link. Note, I'm going to be asking you for feedback on this during class. So let's get going. I'm going to be covering in this lecture the Russian Revolution, USA enters the war, and the concept of propaganda. So this is important, very important. We will begin having assignments and tests administered through my AP Classroom the week of April 6th through 10th. All of you have already signed up for a College Board account. You either did it last year or you did it this past fall. You need to confirm. You can log on to your College Board account so you can access the assignments and tests. If you have any problems, email me. Be specific as to what the problem is, and if I can help, if I can't help you, I will find someone who can. So let's get going. Russian Revolution. I want you to pause the video lecture and watch this short video. Okay, we're back. What I need you to be able to tell me is, how are these two cartoons, political cartoons, similar? You can compare it with previously studied material. What do you see here? What is the content of it? What's the context? What is going on at the time? What is the learning objective of historical development that they're showing you in these documents? All right, these are primary sources. These could be used on a short answer question or in a DBQ essay. So Russia pulls out of the war. There's hundreds of thousands of poorly equipped Russian soldiers. They're dying. There's mass desertion, starvation. Tsar Nicholas II, the Romanov, autocratic, absolute ruler, is forced to abdicate. He's later going to be executed with his entire family by the Bolsheviks, the communists. There is a provisional government set up, led by Alexander Kerensky. They still support Russia being in World War I. Vladimir Lenin is in exile. He makes a deal with the Germans. He says, hey, get me back into Russia and I'll end the war. In November 1917, you have the Russian Revolution. Lenin signs what is called the Treaty of Brest-Litovsk, where Germany pulls out of the war. So now there is only one front. The Eastern Front is gone. Watch this short video, YouTube video. This is from a series that was really popular back in the 90s called Young Indiana Jones, creator of the Lost Ark fame. This is Vladimir Lenin's speech, Peace, Bread, and Land. Pause my video, watch this YouTube. I'll see you in a moment. Okay, so economic causes for the Russian Revolution. There's peasant majority. Remember, serfdom was abolished in 1861, the last major place where serfdom was abolished. They were all needed in the factories as Russia was playing catch up with the West in terms of industrial output. There's food and fuel shortages. There are strikes, inefficient transportation system, political causes. There's enormous losses in the war. There's a very weak and oppressive rule by Tsar Nicholas II. There's the spread of Marxist ideas, all right, based on the Communist Manifesto published by Karl Marx in 1848. And you have charismatic leaders such as Lenin and Stalin. They're really able to fuel up the population. So the social causes is that there were these extreme disparities in social classes. Deprivation, people don't have things that they need, and peasants' desire for peace, bread, and land, as Lenin mentioned in his speech. In November 1917, the Communist Party overthrows the government and Russia becomes the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, also known as the USSR or the Soviet Union. So, what's going on with the Soviet Union under Lenin between 1917 and 24? Between 1919 and 1921, they're supporters of the Tsar. There's a civil war between the Reds and the Whites. The U.S. and other countries are going to support the Whites, the Tsar's supporters. The Reds get support from the workers and peasants. Lenin executes the family and his entire family, doesn't want anybody to be able to come back as a head of the Romanovs, and the Reds eventually defeated the Whites. Lenin enacts the new economic policy banning private ownership, which was the original cause. He's going to now start to allow some private ownership in small-scale manufacturing and farming. At that time, most farms and industry were owned by the government. This loosening up of communist ideals, his original thoughts, will slowly increase. However, Lenin is going to die in 1924, and a much more oppressive Joseph Stalin will take over. More on him later. Pause this video lecture and watch the YouTube video. Be back in a moment. So I just wanted to throw out these pictures. This is the Fortress of Peter and Paul in St. Petersburg. I visited there in 2008. This is the burial site of all the Tsars. I've shown you Peter the Great's great tomb, Catherine the Great's tomb, Alexander II's tomb. This is a chapel showing the burial site of Nicholas II and all of his family. You have Nicholas and Alexandra right here in the center. You have the daughters on both sides of them. You have the heir, Alexei, is here. And you have the servants who died with them, Dr. Botkin, Demidova, the maid, are buried here in this tomb. So here is a political cartoon. This is a telegram that was sent in code by the German government to the German embassy in Mexico. And it gets intercepted by the British and it's passed along to the US government. It's known as the Zimmerman note. This is it in code. Here it is decoded. And what the German government was trying to promise Mexico is, hey, if you become our ally and we win the war, we're going to let you get back New Mexico, Texas, and Arizona. Hey, isn't that a deal? Well, that's the match that lights the fire for the U.S. to enter the war. However, it is not the main cause. We will go in 2.5 years after the war began in the end of July 1914. That'll be the same force in World War II. The World War II will start in 1939. We will not enter until more than 2 years later in 1941 with the bombing of Pearl Harbor. So, the causes: unrestricted submarine warfare. You're going to watch a video in a moment. Lost 128 Americans, died. And then again, the Zimmerman note is that match that lights the fire. Congress, at President Wilson's request, declares war. Only Congress has the power to declare war. pause this video and watch Unrestricted Submarine Warfare. Click the link in the PowerPoint that you have. When you finish, come back. Welcome back. So the USA is in. So, need to know. Okay, need to know stuff. Here is a historical development. Governments used a variety of strategies, including political propaganda. They also used art, other media, and intensified forms of nationalism, fighting for America, to mobilize, to get people in, all right? And for the purposes of waging war. So what is propaganda? Propaganda are ideas spread to influence public opinion for or against the cause. Think of any commercial that you've ever seen. They're trying to get you to do something, to buy their product. Normally, I have a propaganda poster project. It's signed at this point. We do it for review for the exam. Due to the current circumstances, I'm trying to figure out a way that we can still do this digitally. More info to come. You need to pause this video and watch these 3 short videos on propaganda. I'll see you in a moment. Okay, welcome back, and this is the end of lecture number 2. Next up will be the last of 3 video lectures that are companion to the PowerPoint lecture you have online, all right, in Google Classroom. So the next lecture, we're going to, the war ends. I'm going to talk about the failure of the Treaty of Versailles. I'm going to talk about what we're going through right now, the 1918 Spanish flu pandemic, what happens in the Middle East, mass atrocities such as the Armenian genocide, the establishment of modern Turkey, and the British and French mandates in the Middle East. I'll also touch on China and Japan. Remember, the entire PowerPoint lecture in PDF format with clickable links is in Google Classroom. While I am offering these 3 video lectures to you, they are not required viewing, encouraged, but the PowerPoint PDF in Google Classroom is required. Remember, you be prepared for SAQ practice or other activities related to this PowerPoint, and most of them will be administered through my AP Classroom, so you need to make sure you can log on to your College Board account. So, until the next time, thanks for stopping by.